I'm going to start with some process here and just authenticity, vulnerability, right? To say, I've been recording these videos for over a year now, which is wild to think. And before, so like 2 years ago, I had a knowingness intuitively that it was part of my path, part of this highest path to record videos. And I knew this for a year, a whole year at least, before I actually recorded one video. And it edged up against parts of my humanness that felt wounded still and not ready to be seen. Yes. And so I was like, no, I don't want to record videos. No, and they were like, yep, yes, yes, yes. We know you're not ready now, but yes, this is on the path and we'll get there. Divine timing. So I wouldn't change it for the world. I love it. It has carried me into a deeper level of healing and just intimacy with my own psychic, intuitive capabilities and wholeness. And I also just really love to be transparent and real, real with you, to let you know that I did not feel comfortable in front of the camera and recording these videos. And it was a whole year worth of like putting it off before I was like, all right, the shaky and steady vibes. It's time. We're going to do this. And my comfort level with it has definitely changed over this last year, the more and more I've done it. And yet, I continue when I first start to record to have these little pockets where the channeling is being called into in a different way. And in the past, there would be times where it was kind of a mix. Like I would be having quite almost like I would pre-channel. I would pre-channel the message and I would be getting this download of, okay, here's what I'm going to say. And then I would record the video. And now it's like I definitely get touches of that, the brewing and the coming together and the general idea of what we want to talk about and where we're going to start in these videos, but way less, it feels way less premeditated. And way more like I'm called into, thank you, that was pretty. Way more like I'm called into the authenticity and the like free fall energy, the floaty space of sharing it in real time, right? And so I'll sit here when I'm about to record and I'll want to think. My human still's there and it wants to think about what to say. And then I feel the push from spirit that goes like, just start talking and it will flow through. I'm like, all right. So it's just the elements where the human mind really feels the sensation of wanting to maintain the narrative and be in that lead. And then we're learning to coexist and move before the very limited brain consciousness part feels it should. And we just get used to that. We just get used to what that feels like. So let's do it. I'm going to start with this phrase that has come through and has themed, again, for me personally and professionally, in many of the sessions that I've had over the last 2 weeks are gearing up to this sweet little phrase from Spirit that is talking about the authenticity of your soul essence and the brightness of that light when you are just growing into your capacity for wholeness, and the light within starts to expand out and fill up more and more of your energy and auric fields, right? And that light can be attractive to other people, and it will pull you into the energy of being seen. And it will also potentially pull you into the experience of being viewed, because not everybody that looks at you is seeing you. Sometimes people look at you and they are very much viewing you. And that is a separation of self energy, not you being separate from self, but depending on where somebody else stands in terms of their division within the relationship of self, their sense of disconnection from the human experiences, from the trauma wounds, from attachment wounds, from whatever the things you want to say are part of the human journeying, where many of us are walking around in a fractured state where we don't even realize and we're not intentionally inside of being disingenuine or performing or masking. I don't know that anyone is wanting to fully be in an intentional space, but this is the coping mechanism that happens when you're living, breathing, and walking around inside of a state of incoherence inside of your own energy field, that separation of self, right? And so my wholeness belongs to me. My light belongs to me. And boy, do I sure deserve to feel that. And this connects back to this phrase that I talked about in one of the last videos of don't let your fear of love separate you from yourself. If I am in a state of fear around whether or not externally I'm going to be viewed or seen, then I'm anchoring in the dimmer switch to my internal truth and light to an external variable. And I think that's quite unfair to me because I shouldn't turn up the purity or dilute that and contract my energy and my light into a state of incoherence within me based on whether somebody else who is looking at me is doing that from a place of wholeness and grounded authenticity, or is looking at me from a place of they are disconnected from themselves. Their own energy field is carrying a lot of turbulent and incoherent waves. And so that is going to limit their perceptions, their senses. And so they only have the capacity to be able to view me, right? How disempowering if my sense of safety is channeled into perception of somebody else's state of wholeness or disconnection. And it very much used to be that way. It very much used to be that way. And this is what I talk about when I say before, I was not in a place of being ready to be viewed or seen either. I just felt like, you know what, if I put myself into this position, I am going to invite in energies of that really yucky feeling that I felt way too many times in my life. And it's more so extracting the way that my own attachment wounds have put me into survival skills that I've mastered around assuming responsibility for somebody else's interests, sense of whether they're pleased or displeased, their sense of worth, their sense of disconnection from themselves. And so where does this bring us? Where does this bring us? Here is the quote that has come out from this that I've channeled for other people and I have channeled for myself simultaneously, right? Is I grant myself and I am invited into this wholeness of my own energy field where I do not let the fear of love separate me from myself because I'm just so deserving of experiencing the love energy undiluted and full throttle from which the source of my own creation and the essence of my own existence is living there, is breathing there. The essence of love is the truth of my oversoul energy. And I will live there, and I deserve to live there. And this is embodiment of the soul inside of the human experience when we're able to clear out the illusions and the things that we have picked up a sense of responsibility for that actually don't belong to us. And when we go through walking over that bridge of healing and homecoming into inner balance and divine union, where I am in the yin yang state of experiencing the totality of my own energy field, I have now left attachment wound energy, and I no longer need to hold or carry a sense of responsibility for tempering your desires, your interests, your emotional states in order to secure a sense of safety for myself. And in this place of wholeness, what I hear is I stand fully in my authenticity without assuming responsibility for another person's interests, attraction, and or perceptions, emotional states. My authenticity can be fully lived into without assuming responsibility for somebody else's response and a reaction to my authenticity. I can experience this energy of me full throttle and stand inside of that and know that that bright light is going to be attractive to some people. And it is not going to be attractive to only people who are in alignment and wholeness, who can experience that light from a place of an equally yoked wholeness where connection and a nourishing pouring into one another, where it feels like there is reciprocity here. Somehow I'm giving and you're giving. And how is this happening where it seems like nobody is taking, right? Not everyone who is going to feel attracted to the brightness of that light is going to come from a place of sitting inside of the stillness and walking across that bridge of homecoming energy to soul retrieval, so they're embodied in wholeness. We're going to have people demonstrating some sense of, I'm really attracted to that bright light, and I think it can serve me. I think it can heal me. I like the way it makes me feel. But you're viewing, you're not seeing. I'm not here to carry somebody else's sense of wanting me to make them feel worthy, right? When it is coming from a disconnected place, it will feel like taking. It won't feel like reciprocity for me. If you are liking the way the warmth of my light is heating up the shadows that you're living in, that's not really the purpose of my role here, my mission here. Yes. And I mean that on more of a personal level, because is this a piece of my role? Like this light helps to shine onto everything that deserves to be seen, which includes the pulling together of two truths that can coexist and deserve to walk alongside each other so that we can clear out the divergence, the incoherence in your energy field that is causing illness or is somehow functioning in opposition of wellness and higher truth. That's for sure. Is that part of my soul mission and what I do for work? And I don't even want to call it work because I love this. It is soul gifts. It is soul mission. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Absolutely. I love it. And when it comes to partnership, to friendship, to relationships and connection outside of me sitting in the role of the healer in a different space, We need balance. And I cannot participate in situations that would pull me into a role of fixing or rescuing or having somebody place dependency on my shoulders in any other relationship that is in my personal life. That just doesn't work for me. Watering needs to be happening in the proximity of relationships that are called into my life from a place of alignment rather than being pulled into my life from a place of polarity.